So today I'm quite excited. We are playing with Bilt Hamber Touch-Less. Now this is a product that has been out on the market for some time now. There has been a lot of hype around this product, but I feel like it's been proven that this is a really effective pre-wash, sugar-based snow foam that you can use to, well, you can use it in a lot of different fashions. I think that the way that I'm excited to try and introduce this into our process is, let's say we've got a relatively clean car. We would spray this on the car as a pre-treatment, and we would let it dwell, rinse it away, and then move into potentially a compact wash. But depending on the severity of the dirt on the vehicle, we could then move to a completely touch-free, hence the name, touchless wash. So we'll talk a little bit around how this product works, what the chemical makeup of it is, and what it's doing as we get into the actual wash of the car here. But the most important thing that you need to do when you're using a product like Bilt Hamber Touch-Less is get your dilution ratio right. So you need a panel impact ratio of 2% with this product here. Now, how do you work that out? Bilt Hamber actually make it really easy for you. So if you have a look at the back of the bottle here, they give you some instructions as to what you need to do. So what we're doing is you fill up the foam cannon that you've got. So make sure that if you're using something like the Omni Garage one, you do not have any metering tips in there. So you fill this all the way. So we have this with 1,000 milliliters. We need to make sure that we are wide open. So we're using the most product. We've got water in there right now, so not really product, but we're using the most product in our pickup. And what we are doing is we are spraying it and catching it, so we can measure out how much water is sent out essentially of the 1,000 mils that we've got in there. So we want to completely empty this out. So,
well, yeah, because what's happening is it's going to pick product up from there. Yep. It's going to mix it with the water coming in from the foam, from the sprayer, from the handle there, and you're going to end up, I guess, producing more than the 1,000 mils. And so you want to work out how much that foam cannon is basically being, well, how much the product in the foam can is being diluted with the water that's being added.
Yeah, so
to calculate the 2%.
We need to understand what is 2% in there. Is it 5 mil of product? Is it 10 mil? Is it 20 mil? What is that? And we cannot work that out without filling a bucket, measuring the content, and then dividing that by 0.02 to get our 2% panel impact ratio. So we know that this bucket here, we've just weighed it, 2.8 kilos. So we're just going to weigh this again at the end, given that water weight just equates. In this bucket here, we had 15.7 litres. So 15,700 millilitres was required in order to empty this foam cannon. So pretty simple calculation from there. You've got two different ways you can do this. So Bilt Hamber advertised that you need a 2% panel impact ratio. So you can times the 15,700 by 0.02 for a highly soiled vehicle, or for regular maintenance washes, you can do it by 0.005. So we know now that based at that 2% panel impact ratio, we need 314 milliliters of touchless to our foam cannon, or if we're wanting to use it at that lower dilution rate just for regular maintenance if the vehicle is not too dirty, we can do the 0.005, which would equate to about 78 milliliters. So for the purpose of this video here, we are going to do 314 on the Grio's Boss foam cannon here. We do have a line every 100, so we're going to go to the 300 milliliter line, and then we can just measure out the additional 14. And there we have it. So we just need to fill that up with water from our bucket, and we are good to start foaming the vehicle.
So for the test of this Bilt Hamber Touch-Less product, we can see that we have a pretty relatively dirty car. Hasn't been cleaned for a couple of months, and so there is just your normal typical dirt and grime that you would expect on a vehicle after driving it for a month. This hasn't been in any heavy weather or any harsh conditions. We don't have any salt. We don't really have much road film. We just have a bit of dust, a bit of dirt, and there's quite a bit here at the back you can see. And so this isn't going to be a real test of how well the touchless product is at cleaning a heavy soiled vehicle, but it's going to be just a little indication from us about how well this can do in a touchless type format.
And then you want to spray this on the car dry, so you don't want to do any kind of pre-treatment to it, because if you do a rinse first, you're impacting the desired 2% panel to impact ratio. So you want to make sure you've got a dry vehicle when you're spraying this on. And we've emptied out our whole foam cannon there on the car. So now it's a matter of letting that dwell, letting it start to work on the paint before we move to rinsing it off. We're not going to leave this on the car as we enter a contact wash with this. This is purely spray on, dwell, rinse off the surface.
You want to let this product dwell as long as you can on the panel, because that's breaking down the dirt and grime, it's breaking down the road film. You also don't want to leave this to the point where it's drying onto the surface. So if you can generate a really nice foam with your good impact ratio, that gives the clean time the best possibility to start and break down whatever's on this vehicle. And that's going to get you closer to a more touchless, or closer to a cleaner panel without having to touch the paint. So the whole idea of this product is how well has it cleaned the panel before we even get into touching it. Now, you've seen this multiple times on the internet. People get a little paper towel and they sort of wipe the back of the car, and they sort of show you that you know, paper towel looks dirty or clean. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Show me the paper towel.
Where did you steal this from?
Prove to the people. No, they're just...
You stole this from a public toilet, didn't you?
No, no, they have come from a local business. I donated them to Omni Garage.
And you spilled the whole packet of paper towels on the floor.
I did.
I asked for one paper towel,
and I got you
like
1,000.
probably 40 here, and there's probably like another 300,000 on the floor back there.
Big shout out to Tristan for supplying the towels.
Big shout out to Tristan. Has he got better at golf yet or no?
Reasonably good.
Okay, so you saw when I did the pre photos of this, that this here was pretty bad. Like the back of the car was the worst. This just looks like a wet paper towel.
Yeah, there's no dirt on there. I want you to try it in this section down here. Just along here. Get a new towel. Get a new towel.
Well, how about I just flip it over?
Flip it over, yeah.
Okay.
It's the same side.
You want to be a little bit careful about this because you can induce marring and scratching again. I mean, there's a few speckles. There's one there.
There's no significant dirt there. Right, grab another towel, bring it around, and do...
Do you have a white microfiber?
I don't have a I don't have a white microfiber, okay. But I mean this here, that's going to be one of your dirtiest sections on the car. Give that a little wipe. Just be careful. It's the piano black.
Down here?
Yep.
Happy with that?
Yep. Yep, that's a good section. What have we got on the towel there? We have nothing. Literally nothing on there.
Now this car definitely wasn't the dirtiest car you could have used. There was no dirt, grime, there was no like road salt or anything like that. It hadn't been driven through any hard aggressive areas. So, but I mean, this was a pretty, what would you say? This was a relatively dirty car that we see relatively consistently through the shop.
I think we call this dirty clean.
Dirty clean. Where else am I going? I know, let's go down here to the front rockers. Down here. Right behind the front wheel. Same again. Clean paper towel.
Clean towel, yep.
That was the side I wiped on. Okay, there's a little bit of dirt.
Yep.
You can see a few speckles here, you can see a few speckles there.
Nothing significant though. That's mild.
It's pretty mild.
I mean, I think that I'll be pretty comfortable looking to dry this car now, and based on how, I guess, dirty clean it was when it came in, we might be able to get away with a vehicle like this. Now, we won't today, but you may be able to get away with doing this completely touchless.
So what I would say here is that a touchless solution like this is not going to clean the car 100%, but it's going to get us relatively clean so that when we do come into our contact wash, we are less likely to induce marring and scratching. And that's what you want to do. You want to do all the heavy lifting now with our pre-soak, with our pre-treat, so that we've got a nice, relatively clean surface to come in with our contact wash. And I think so far this product's done a pretty good job. Yes, it's not the heaviest, dirtiest car that you ever see in the world, but I think it's done a pretty good job of getting us clean most of the way there. So this product here has got a slightly higher pH than your typical neutral pH soap, but it's a sugar-based, I guess, surfactant package. Now, it's not all about pH. pH doesn't tell you the whole story. It's all about how the surfactant package works and is delivered onto the paint. And as you can see here, I think this Bilt Hamber product has done a really good job of cleaning the car most of the way there. It hasn't completely cleaned it all, and we are going to have to go in and now do a contact wash, but I think we're in a way safer position than we were to put the mitt on and to agitate a little bit extra dirt and get this car 100% clean. Really happy with how this product has worked. I really do think that, you know, if you want to touch this product that's going to do most of the heavy hitting and most of the cleaning for you, this is somewhere where you would like to probably go. We are testing a lot of other high pH soaps that are in this category to see which one is going to clean the best, but so far I'm pretty happy with how this product has performed. It hasn't caused any damage to any of our trim and plastics, which we do see in some of the other high pH. I've run out of air. Which we do sort of see in some of the other high pH products. They have sort of damaged a bit of our plastic and trim. It hasn't happened in this case, and so really happy with how Bilt Hamber has performed in this situation of ours.